Hey, did you know that TGSTS is on YouTube and Instagram? We'd love to hear your episode suggestions or just chat with you about life. So find us at hashtag TGSTS and follow, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you. Cheers.
It makes people uncomfortable when you're comfortable in your own skin. And
Yeah.
I'm noticing that.
Hey Mo.
Hey girl, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm feeling blessed, too anointed to be disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
What's got you
losing
feeling like
weight,
that?
losing some weight,
Oh,
feeling good,
yes.
fitting into some old clothes.
Ooh, I want to
You
know
know
what
how
that's
that
like.
is.
No, I don't actually.
Yes, you do. And
Absolutely
that's
not.
what we're talking about today
Yeah.
is our
Is that what
weight.
we're talking about? Yes. Wait. Women in weight. Mm.
Right? And it's been a
Mm.
thing. I remember back when we first started hanging out, I was like probably 75 pounds smaller than I am now. And I thought I was so fat. Well, I was compared to y'all. Y'all were so little. And it was so
Mm.
crazy because you would still be complaining. I'd be wanting to punch you in the face. Like, girl.
You say 75. I was about 40 pounds, 45 pounds smaller than I am now
Mhm.
too. Yeah, life be life in for real.
Right.
Oh,
And weight is such a big thing for women and everybody, but I feel like a lot of it is placed on women and
hmm
especially Black women being overweight because I feel like the what is the statistics? Like four out of five Black women are obese or overweight.
mm, mm. I I have beef with all of that. I
Okay.
think that well, for as a I don't know if it's genetic or because of my ethnicity, whatever. Filipinos are not the smallest Asians either.
Hmm.
And so I'm half Black and Filipino, and I feel like I've always, even in my skinniest, my thinnest, my fittest, you would look at me and think something, but I would weigh a good 20 pounds more than you think I weighed on the
Yeah.
scale. So I,
Hmm.
I don't know if it's as much as weight or just appearance of what you're reflecting. You know what I mean? People want to look fit, they want to look skinny. Athletes could weigh 160 pounds looking like
Yeah.
120 pounds, you know?
Mhm.
So for me, I didn't pay too much attention to the scale. It was about what my body looked like and how I showed up, how my clothes fit. And
Yeah.
now at almost 44, none of it is syncing up in a positive way. You know, the scale is yelling at me. My jeans are fighting me. It's a thing. And it starts when you're young, right? I mean, we've talked about
Mhm.
this. It starts when you're young.
I was about, I'm trying to think of the first time like that I realized weight. And it had to be from
Mm,
somebody making fun of me because I had no
mm-mm.
awareness of it. And then went to school and someone made fun of me. And then that's how I found out. And then also my family making fun of me about being fat.
Family can be rough,
Very
for real.
rough.
Were
I
you
remember
were you an overweight child?
I was overweight starting around seven or no, starting around 10 years old.
That's
And I'm
still
sure
like baby
something
fat.
traumatic happened. I'm like, who knows what happened in my life to make me so fat? But I remember one time my dad came to pick me up from school,
Hmm
and we went to the doctor, and I weighed like 15 pounds less than him, and I was 10 years old. And he was like, "That's a
Did
shame."
he say so? Oh, he said something. No.
Yeah, and he was criticizing me instead of being like, let's work out. You're the parent, like you control the food
Right.
in the house."
Yes.
So,
This is a result of your maybe shortcomings,
yeah.
parent. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And instead of that, I just created a disordered way of eating where I just snuck food so they wouldn't
Mm.
see. They were buying the food. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money.
Why you
Like
you getting mad?
yeah, 'cause it's like when you sit back and think about it, it's like I didn't have money to buy food. Y'all are buying all this crap. You could have just told me what to eat and gone on walks with me or gone to the gym with me or something. Be more encouraging. It goes back to
hmm
what we were talking about before, having that safe space. And
Yeah.
so I think that not having that safe space created a more disordered way of thinking about food and weight and everything. Because I think for me, losing weight was a way to get my parents' approval. And I don't know if you
Mm.
remember, right when I was at my lowest, I started losing all that weight. My parents died. So it was kind of like, yay, they got to see it. And I'll never forget my dad was like, "You're so beautiful." I don't think I ever heard anything
Oh,
like that.
oh, you gonna make me
Yeah.
cry.
But
Oh,
it was just funny. So after they passed, it was like, oh shoot, what do I have to lose weight for anymore
what
now?
now?
What
Oh,
now?
and that ties into the parent, like the child, the stuff we've been
Mhm.
talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, did your family teach you how to eat? Do you know what I mean?
Hell
Like, did you have dinner? Did you have dinner together as a family? How was
hell
food
no.
portioned out? How, no.
We ate. My mom cooked. My mom was
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
cooked that soul food. Everybody from the neighborhood. We were in the military. All the soldiers would come by to get plates and stuff.
Oh.
She would have get-togethers, and so there was always a lot of food. And
Hmm.
she made my plates. I wasn't allowed to dig in pots, and she would make
I wasn't allowed to dig in pots.
she would make these huge portions, and then get mad at me when I didn't eat it. I'm like, you can't win. You can't
Yeah, you're
win.
like, I'm 10. What is this?
You know? And I would tear
I
it up. It
think
was so good, especially the mac and cheese.
we ate. I mean, I think I'm fortunate in that way that my mom always cooked. And I grew up eating Filipino food. So a lot of
Mhm.
vegetables, a lot of fish, very healthy food. Rice
Yeah,
every meal, but rice isn't necessarily bad. I
same.
mean, rice every single meal. But both of my parents came from very large families where there
Mhm.
weren't a lot of resources, wasn't a lot of money. On my dad's side, if you weren't home, if you had an extracurricular activity like he wrestled, if you weren't home in time for dinner, you didn't eat. There was no food for you. Like you
Oh,
just,
wow.
that's how it was. And so one of the things I know they've talked about was, our kids are going to eat. They're always going to have
Mhm.
food. They're always going to have a full pantry. We're not going to stop them from eating if they want. Because they grew up, my dad grew up hungry. Um,
Yeah.
and
Oof.
so we had all the stuff. And I didn't learn, aside from my mom's meal preps and stuff, like cooking dinners and stuff, I didn't learn how not to eat or whatever. And I was fortunate, say that in quotes, to be a skinny kid with a great metabolism.
Yeah. I had
Um,
cousins like that.
but I ate.
Yeah,
Like I
they
would
ate too.
literally
We ate
like,
together.
but like now as an adult, when my body is not doing what it used to do, I don't know how to eat. Like not now, but like maybe, I used to I always tell people, I made a whole loaf of bread into French toast and just got in on it and didn't gain
Mm.
nothing, just fine. I look at some bread now, just sniff it. And then my ass is, busting out of my pants. And so I feel like there are some
Hey.
families who, in a healthy way, if that's even a thing, teach their children how to eat,
Hmm.
and how to listen to their bodies.
Listen to your body, and food is fuel.
Yes, like it's medicine. Treat it like
Hmm.
medicine. You know, you but that's so I mean,
Mine
I
was a
don't know.
comfort for sure.
Yes. It's
It
very
was
comforting.
comfort. It was my friend. I didn't have a lot of friends. I would sit in my
Yep.
room and eat, and just
You're
eat by
bored.
myself.
If you're bored, well,
Mhm.
let's grab a snack. There's
And as a
and
treat,
food is love. I feel like
that's
you
how
said
people
your
show
mom would
love.
host a lot of things and
Hmm.
in my family and especially in the Filipino culture, I know Black culture, same thing. Food is love. Like we share our
Hmm.
food, we have community. This is when we get together surrounding food. And so it's kind of that's hard.
And then remember all of the movies back in the day? It's like once the fat person lost weight, then the whole universe opened up, like all the
Oh
opportunities,
yeah.
the love of their life came. And I really had that mentality
I
because
still feel like that.
I
That's
was
hard to
bored.
like, yeah.
But I see so many fat people in relationships and like living life that I know that's disordered thinking on my end.
Mhm.
But still, just seeing that, I used to think, oh, I'm going to lose weight and everything would open up. And I think that was one of the things I realized once I lost weight, especially being in LA. You can never lose enough weight in LA.
Mm-mm.
As soon as I came there, everybody was on the keto. So I was like, okay, let me get on the keto. And it's so fast. You lose
Yeah,
weight
that
so,
you drop weight so fast, but
so
don't start
fast.
eating normal
Yeah,
again
as soon as you
because
eat, boom, back up.
these fad diets, I mean, that none of them are sustainable. None of them. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter, Atkins, keto. I mean, when we were little, there
You
was
gotta
what
do it
Dexatrin
forever.
pills,
Yeah.
Slim Fast shakes. Who's gonna have a shake, and a salad, a sensible dinner, or
Black
whatever?
Molly or whatever they call it.
Oh, what's
People would
that?
take. I think it's just a version of speed, honestly.
Black Molly?
Yeah. People would take that
Hell,
to lose weight. Yeah.
Fen.
I
I
remember
don't know
that.
what that, yeah, that was giving
I
people
would
heart
take,
attacks,
what's the one
people
that was killing
dying.
people? Guarana or something like that. I would
Guarana.
take those pills. I would take those and they would like give me a caffeine rush and appetite suppressant type
Mhm.
effect.
What When I was in college, I had a memory and I was like, it just came to me while I was getting ready to set up and do this or whatever. And I was fit. I was working out like hard every day, weights, whatever. Like I was on a routine. Things were pretty healthy, but I was like, I want a little bit more. And it was like,
Hmm.
stupid. Why? I'm fine. This is fine. And I started taking hydroxycut. And this was like
Yeah,
in
that.
2000, maybe. And this is
Hmm.
before they cut, there was some stuff. I forgot what was in it. I forgot the
Yeah,
ingredient.
people were dying and stuff.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I was
that's
sitting in
funny.
class and I remember breaking out into a full sweat. My shirt was like drenched in class and my
Yeah.
chest, I couldn't breathe. And it was almost one of those things where I just kept looking around. I kept looking at my professor. It was like a smaller class. And I was like, I'm gonna die in this classroom. Like, I don't even, and I stopped taking it that day. But it's just the things we do, things aren't approved by the FDA. Nothing is, we don't know what these things are. You know, you just see a
Hmm.
commercial and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get skinny.
Yep, that's
Um,
all you're thinking about. We're just thinking
yeah.
about the superficial because that's supposed to lead to an end. That's supposed to make you more successful, more attractive, a more valuable member of society.
Yeah. Well, when you're little, you're programmed to think that way. Like with
Hmm.
your dad saying that about you or whatever, or like me,
Hmm.
I was praised for my appearance,
Yeah.
which gives you the same message.
Hmm.
But one thing that was really effed up, and I think this really messed me up into my 20s and my 30s, every gathering, it was either, oh, you're so skinny, eat more. And then the next day, you're so fat. Oh, are you? And it was lovingly said. It was cute,
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
mataba. Oh, in Tagalog, like they, aunties and stuff will come up, oh,
Mhm.
oh, you're so, cute. Like, and it was so confusing as a child and then as a teen. And it was like, well, what am I? And so it put weight front of mind,
And everybody would
constantly.
grab my cheeks. They would
Yes.
grab my cheeks all the time and then tell me I have a pretty face. They would always say that. You fat,
Oh,
you have a pretty face. Like it's
oh my
all and
gosh.
family members. So it's like you're getting bullied at school. Then you go
Mhm.
home and get bullied. Then you go to family events and you're getting bullied. And I know they don't call it bullying. That's just family, how people act.
Yeah, but you know what that is. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
bullying, you know?
Exactly.
Just because it's family doesn't mean you get a pass. Like you're not supposed to say that to people.
So I feel like I'm still messed up with weight. I've gone through weight loss surgery, gained it
Mm.
all back in the pandemic, lost a
Which
lot, and I
do
could
you want to
tell.
share? What surgery you had or what, anything about that? Like,
Yeah, I just had my stomach cut in half.
whew, dang, the way you say it,
So,
I had my stomach, they cut my stomach. Damn.
and I guess it grew back. I don't know, but I was able to eat like during the pandemic. I think it just being at home and grazing, I gained a bunch
And
of weight
emotional eating.
and emotional eating, being
Yeah.
lonely and not having to walk up and down the subway every day like I was doing,
Mm.
taking my classes like I was doing because they closed everything out for a period of time.
Mhm.
And so looking back at that, I kind of think it was kind of like what you said in another episode about that external validation from people. When I lost weight, I noticed I got a lot more attention, which I did not like at all. But
Really?
yeah, and people were way nicer to me. The people would
Yeah.
just start talking to me. I was getting compliments every day for no reason. And I didn't really understand it. The only thing that changed was my weight, but also maybe my confidence, the way I
That's what I
carried.
was gonna say. I was about to interject. I'll
Yeah.
say, well, with the weight loss comes a different air about you. I bet you carried
Hmm.
yourself differently. And I remember you came to visit me in the Bay Area,
Hmm.
and you were smaller than me.
Hey.
And I was like, okay, and you did get, there was a different energy about you.
Hmm.
Um, there just was. I mean, I don't know if it was like a conscious thing or maybe I was projecting that because I was like,
Hmm.
ooh, like whatever. But it did, I mean, that might be what it is when you, and this is not that this is the correct way to be, but when you look quote unquote better, you feel better, you attract better. You know what I mean? Like it's like a
I don't know. I
whole,
didn't attract anything, so I don't know about
oh,
that.
well, I mean, no, but just the way people regard you. And that's a
Yeah.
shitty thing too. We've talked about being invisible, midlife women become invisible. And I think a lot of that, I mean, people don't see us anymore. I mean, you're not the hot little thing.
Hmm.
You're putting on weight for a variety of reasons. Some of it is like out of your control, hormones, just
Yes.
weight as you age. Like the Mayo Clinic, I looked this up, said women in
Fibroids.
perimenopause, you can expect to gain at least 1.5 pounds per year minimum. Obviously, that's the minimum because we
Yeah.
doing a
I'm
lot
like, I
more up in
gained that
here.
in a day.
right? Like I look at something and and then your hormones change things. We talked about it in one of the sex episode, testosterone dips.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that changes your sex drive, but it also changes like um muscle mass. It changes, the regulation, your body's regulation of fat distribution. So you end up getting that menopause apron belly.
Ugh, I
Um,
already have that.
it all goes to the midsection instead of being distributed throughout your body or. So it's hard. And it's just harder. Like when you were younger, I'm curious as to whether we have the same experience. If you worked out hard for a month, you saw results, right? Did you see like when you were running, when we were going to the gym in the morning and stuff, like were you
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
results? Yeah. And now you could do that now and your body's like, eh.
Yeah, I've been working out over a year consistently, 4 to 5 times a week. And
Dang, get
you
it.
wouldn't be able to tell, but I can tell just because of my mood. Honestly, that's the main
Mm,
reason I do it. But
yes.
gaining this weight, especially in this age, it's harder to lose because I would just
Yeah.
change my eating habits for a week and lose weight. Now I
Yeah.
can't. So I had to get help. Like I take Zepbound, which is uh hormone replacement. Basically, it replaces a hormone in your stomach that helps
Ah.
that feeling of satiety, makes you
Uh-huh.
feel satisfied when you eat food. And I gotta say, I started a couple months ago and I lost 26 pounds. Was 26 pounds, I
Yes.
gained a pound back. Um, but yeah,
And that's
and
how it goes sometimes.
yeah.
Up and down, 1 pound here or there, and that's normal.
And it's because I can't eat. So it's just like having surgery all over again.
Why can't you eat? You feel too full. You already feel full, like it's like
It's
uncomfortable to
uncomfortable.
eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
Oh.
great because I have a mental thing with food, but it
Mm.
took that away too.
Wow.
And I'm not thinking about food all the time. Well, I am, but not the way I was. And like I can get a platter and that'll last a few days because I can only eat pieces of it. So I save more money. And
Wow.
and I love it, but we'll see how long this lasts because you have to stay on it forever for it to work. So I need to learn
Yeah.
behavioral type things to help too because those hunger pangs are real. They whatever my brain is talking to my stomach or whatever, it makes me feel like I'm starving. It makes me feel like I
Yeah.
just gobble gobble gobble.
The mental piece, I think, is the biggest piece. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because I and this is some dumb stuff, and this maybe shows like the weakness of my willpower or something, but like there'd be times, remember that master cleanse diet where you just drink that
Yes,
cayenne
Beyonce.
pepper lemon
Yes,
syrup, whatever.
I did
I
that
did
too.
that. I tried to do it. I made it half a day, and then I was literally in a Ralph's parking lot in Long Beach eating an entire loaf of French bread. Like that's not something I would normally do, but I was telling myself, you are not going to be eating, you're going to be deprived. And then somehow, no willpower, I'm like, we're not depriving this body. And I was eating a whole loaf of bread in the car. And
Damn.
that's how I am. Like it's very
Mhm.
hard for me to stick to something that doesn't feel natural, like I'm depriving myself. Like I so I can't. So it's I mean it's something I learned early on too is I want to lose weight. For me, the weight loss has to come from increased activity. It's not going to come
Yeah.
from cutting back. I like food. I can't
Mm-hmm.
do it. I can't like I have no willpower when it comes to food. And maybe it's
Same,
the
and
emotional component.
yeah, because I'm eating regular food. Like I got
Yeah.
me some falafel and grape leaves and
Ooh, I
stuff.
love falafel.
You know, I love
Ooh,
that. That's
you're talking
fried,
about my food. Yes.
but I can only eat one falafel. You know, it's like I can't go
Yeah.
crazy with it. So I can only eat a
You're
half
still
a
eating
pita
what you
bread.
want.
Yeah.
Because it's when you tell yourself you
Mm-mm.
can't have that dessert today. You're not going to have dessert. There's a whole idea of cheat days and that kind of stuff. Like I
Yeah.
cannot live my life saying, no, I'm not eating these things.
But
Like
it
I don't
changed.
care how good it makes you look. I can't stop eating the
Yeah,
foods I
that's
want
how
to
I
eat.
felt. But it really changes the chemicals or whatever, the hormone replacement. It really changes the way you feel about food. Like
Yeah.
I went and got some ice cream
Mm.
and I had like 2 spoons of it. It's still in the freezer. It's been in the freezer for weeks.
Yeah.
I'm probably
But it
gonna throw it away.
satisfied whatever it is you were looking for in that. Yeah.
Yeah. But usually,
That's
remember back in the
control.
day,
That's willpower.
I used
Yes.
to do the 29-day diet thing, and it's you would write down everything you eat. You're supposed to eat. Like I would wake up and have egg whites, and then a chicken breast
Spinach.
for
Yeah.
lunch,
Broccoli.
spinach,
Yep.
and then a salad with some more chicken breasts, and
Ground
then
turkey.
yep,
All that
in
nasty,
the
bland
middle,
food.
like a boiled egg in the middle. Like, and it was so gross. And then when I would get sick of it, then I would have a gallon of ice cream, a sheet cake, not a slice of cake, a sheet cake,
Yeah.
a gallon of ice cream, a
Yeah.
bottle of wine, and then I wrote it down in the book.
Got to be accountable, you know?
I would go to Ralph's and get that sheet cake, some
Oh my
ice
gosh.
cream, and I would sit there with a fork in the cake and the spoon in the ice cream and just eat it
I
out of
know
the
what you're talking about. I've been there.
cake.
I've been there.
And I was still small. Like I was still, now I can look back and say that, but at the time I felt so fat.
Yeah. But then if you did that today, see, this is a weird thing. It's almost like stages
I
in life.
couldn't
You
probably.
have to be aware of where you are in your life because
Hmm.
in our 20s, you could do that. You
Hmm.
really, we did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, now, I mean, I've tried to do it. Other issues come up too. Other issues like, hey, I can't get down with that much milk, that much
Yeah.
ice cream, that much
It's like
certain
a
things. My
hangover.
body, yeah, my body's not doing that, you know. Um, yeah, I just it's yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Weight
What
is
would
a
you say now your relationship with food is like?
I love food.
Hmm.
Um, and I love food, but I also miss the feeling of being confident in my body. I don't know if that makes sense. Like being
Wow.
able to go into my closet and put anything on. I mean, aging, it's not just weight. Um, Although weight is an issue and I'd really like to lose some weight. I think it's also firmness of my skin, just the way that things appear. And they're
Yeah.
different. Um, like short, like cellulite. That's just a thing of life for
Hmm.
people. The elasticity in your skin. So maybe some people I've seen as you get older, your knees get like wrinkly or whatever,
Hmm.
or the your stomach. That's how you get that like the elasticity. If you've lost weight, a large amount of weight gained, lost, whatever, your skin is not going to keep bouncing back and forth. So you're going to end up with, you know, looser skin, the bat wings in the arms, those
Yep.
types of things that are maybe a natural part of aging, but it's just hard for me to I don't know the word, not rectify, but like align
Hmm.
it with what I think of myself in my brain. And then when I look in the mirror, it's like, oh, that's not how I envision myself. So
Wow.
it's just kind of lining that up. And that's that body dysmorphia, I guess. Like,
Hmm.
and
Does it
then
help? Like,
sometimes, oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, does it help having your partner cheer you on? Like being like, oh, damn, you look fine.
I mean, he says that no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which
Does it
is
help?
no.
Oh man, because I'm looking
Because if
forward to.
I don't see that with my own eyes, and that maybe that's I don't know why I can't flip it around. If people tell me negative, I'm like, oh. But if people tell me positive, it doesn't have the same effect. Do you know what I
That
mean?
might
Like
be
I'm
worth
seeing
looking
with my
into.
yeah. Yeah. And then plus I feel
Embracing
like,
that beauty.
you know, all that positivity and all this stuff you know, he's trying to get stuff. So
Right?
he's always gonna love
I don't
it.
blame him. Shoot. You need to love
But
it too, girl.
I mean I do. I just wish it would fit in the clothes that I have.
Hmm. Gonna get
That's
you a waist
all.
trainer, call it a
Wait,
day.
it's not, it's the thighs. I rub through jeans like it's nobody's business.
Mhm.
I need to come up with an invention for that or something. Like some way, I mean, there's got to be jeans for thick girls with thighs that
I
don't
have big
rub
thighs,
through the
but I got a bigger
thigh.
stomach too. So probably the sizes are different. So I'm wearing bigger sizes.
All my jeans rub through the thigh. Like I
Yeah.
can't have jeans for years because they literally will rub through
Hmm.
the
I
thighs.
remember when I first got that gap, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Mm.
That thigh gap, I was like, what? My legs were rubbing together my whole life. And it was like just stupid stuff. Like, okay, what does this thigh gap mean? I can't say like having lost weight so many times throughout my life. I can't say that something's changed or besides people treating me differently in general. But as far as dating and relationships and things like that, not really. Just get more riffraff trying to talk to you.
Riff raff.
The riffraff, you just get more volume, not more quantity. That's what I
Mm.
noticed for personally. So I
Yeah.
said, so tell me what you think about this. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to some people. I was on a podcast and I was talking to some people and they said that I told them I wanted to wait till I met someone to lose a lot of weight
Mm-hmm.
because that way I would know they liked me for me. And they said, no, you got to lose it now. And I think I see people on my 600-pound life married. I see people, bigger people out and about married. I went to Cat Williams and there were so many big women and couples and people make it like it doesn't exist, but it does. And you don't know what people have gone through. They have kids, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So there's a lot of things people are going through, but I don't know what my point was.
I think I have two, and this is unpopular opinion, unpopular whatever, and this is just, I mean, I'm not even saying this is proper. This is probably my fucked up brain. This is how it works. But those people that you see that are overweight maybe weren't overweight when they got in the relationship. I mean, I can look at my own relationship and how
Mhm.
we looked when we first met. And so to see us out like, oh, see, big people get love too, it's like, well, we weren't that way in the beginning. And I
Yeah.
also
But
and
also
this
wedding
is
photos. I've seen big
yeah,
wedding photos.
but I think also the jacked up part, and it's always what I say, and all the single friends are always like, well, that I'm not doing that, but it's the game. It's the game. You have to dress it up. You have to make it look good. It's just like
Manipulate.
food. If your
Mhm.
food doesn't look good, are you going to want to eat it? Or if it looks bomb, like you're going to want to jump into that plate, right? So, and then you'll see, ooh, it does taste good, or no, it does,
No, you like oatmeal.
whatever.
Shush.
I know I do love oatmeal, but you can make oatmeal look good. But I'm just
Ugh.
saying, like, it's the presentation of the package
Yeah.
that draws people in, and then you can be the discerning person and say, I don't like that. I don't. But it casts a wider net and gets more people
Mhm.
interested in the product you're selling. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about that too. It feels like marketing or whatever.
It is
Um,
marketing because especially if you're hetero or if you aren't and you date males, then you have
mhm.
to deal with their visual people and
Visual, yeah,
how they are. That's
yeah,
just the nature of the game. Now a lot of them are with fat women, yes, but that maybe that's what they like. So I
they
need to find
like, yeah,
who likes that. That way I can be comfortable and know, okay, you like me for me, not for my fat, because I don't want that either. I've seen that on my 600-pound life where
mm,
someone loses weight, then they don't want
fetish.
them. And I'm like, that's why I don't believe in the game because you change. So if you
Yeah.
got me this, then you're like, oh, I don't want you anymore because you're trash. Like I want
Well,
someone to
that's
love
not
me.
real. Well, the thing, I mean, for me, I think it has to be an initial physical attraction. That's the only way.
Mhm.
I mean, you're not gonna,
That's
unless
everybody.
it's over time, you develop a friendship and then you find out you love that person. That's a whole
Mhm.
nother, that's a long
That's
game. Ain't
beautiful.
nobody got
Yeah.
time for that anymore. Okay. So, but I do think that the physical attraction is key. And if that person is only attracted to you for physical and then they leave, then you didn't want that person anyways. But you're gonna
Hmm.
need to reel them in, somehow, and then let them see how amazing, the
Yeah.
what's underneath the package. But the whole thing is fucked up.
That animal,
I'm
that
not
human.
saying I agree. I'm just saying that's the way it works, I feel
It
like.
is. It is. It's the game, and it's like it's just like that with society. There's certain games you have to play if you want to participate. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't want to participate. You can beam me up today.
And a lot of that has to do with weight and how you present.
Mhm.
Youth is
Weight,
always
race. Ugh.
prized over, a more mature woman.
Mhm.
And I think with that comes, a slender figure, no gray hair, smoother skin, all those outside, who cares if you're
Yes.
experienced or you've got wisdom or whatever. You
I had
don't
a friend.
look the part.
I had a friend ask me if I was going to dye my hair, and I said, "No way. I'm going to age gracefully. I'm proud to be at
Mm-hmm.
this age. I didn't think, like we said before, I didn't think I'd be here. So I'm embracing it. And
Mm-hmm.
if society doesn't like it, as long as I got a roof over my head, I don't care. But if that starts taking away my resources, then I'm going to care."
But I also think it's like, is that what you want to put your energy into? Like, and if that's your thing and you love hair and you want to do different colors, you want to do this, more power to you. Not everybody's ready to embrace the gray. Because
Yeah.
people talk shit. Do you remember that one live we had and somebody was talking about my hair
Yes.
and all the
Yes.
grays? And I was like, please.
Tired or something.
And I'm just like, you ain't paying my bills.
Yeah.
My husband
It
liked my
was
gray hair.
rude. And it
Okay.
was a man, too. That was kind of
Yeah.
rude, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And he was bald. That's all I remember. I don't remember who it
Yeah.
was.
Ashy.
But
I'm just kidding, boo.
but it's one of those things. People have opinions about stuff, and I'm just like, this is what my hair is doing. This is what my body's doing. This is
Yeah.
this is what I'm working with right now.
It's like obviously my hair is gray, so I want to keep it like if I didn't want it, I would color it. So
Yeah,
that's just maybe a projection of wow, you're showing your age. I can't believe
yeah,
it. Because people aren't
yeah,
comfortable. So a lot of times it makes people uncomfortable when you're comfortable in your own skin. And I'm
yeah,
noticing that because
yeah.
the older I get, like this is my body. It's gonna go up and
This is what
down,
it is.
round and
Yep.
round. It is what it
I
is. It's
I
keeping
roll
me
my titties up into the bra every morning.
right. No, I
I
don't
put
even know
them
what's wrong
Spanx
with
on or
mine.
whatever.
I put one on for
Woo.
you today.
I gotta wear a bra. They're too aggressive.
Yeah, you got them big
Um,
ones.
they're aggressive. Yeah, I don't know. Wait. But I have no desire now. I think I'm trying to be more mindful of health. over appearance. It would be nice if the appearance synced up with the health or whatever, but I mean, I'm being more mindful of like ingredients and stuff, getting my
Yeah.
fiber. Am I getting enough protein today? Like
Mhm.
those types of things. And those are the things that I can control and feel better
Mhm.
about, I think, because it doesn't feel good to constantly be fighting, running on the treadmill all day, or I'm not going to count my macros.
Yeah, I can't live
Can't
like
live
that.
my life like that. I can't. And if that means I don't get to fit into some size 6, 8, 10 jeans, then so be it.
Hmm.
Okay, so be it. Because I'm going to bake cupcakes with my kids and I'm going to eat them. You know,
Hmm.
we're going to that's a huge part of my life is cooking with my kids, eating with, and I'm not going to be that mom that's like, oh, I can't eat that. Because what am I
I know.
showing
How
them?
are the moms? Are the moms like all on a diet culture, or do you know how is it?
I have no idea.
Mm.
I don't, I have some mom friends who are, mom bodies, I guess you could call it. And we're just out here hoping to raise, especially daughters, but just children who have a healthy relationship with food. Um,
Yes.
but I don't know what the skinny moms are doing. I don't know if they're just athletic or if they're eating their salad while their family eats a meal. I don't know. Cause that was part of it too. I know that when my mom was dieting, we would have food and she would have a salad.
Hmm.
And that was like, what is that? Or Jenny Craig. We went through Jenny Craig.
Oh, I did Jim
I
Craig
had
too.
Nutrisystem.
Weight
I mean,
Watchers. I did
yes,
that
Weight
too.
Watchers. I did Weight Watchers all through my late 20s. Whew.
Hmm.
Um,
To the
and it's
meeting.
and
Dang.
I don't feel like you should be looking at food in terms of numbers and stuff. Like you shouldn't be calculating. Like, am I hungry? Good. That looks good. Hey, you know what? Today I haven't had any vegetables yet. Maybe I'll eat the vegetables the next meal. Like it
Hmm.
shouldn't be
Mindful.
this.
Mindful eating.
What does
Yes.
my body want? Sometimes I want to say, sometimes I want a bowl of pudding. Like, fuck, like, hey, I
Like
haven't
a
had fruit. Yeah. But I feel like I would live a more peaceful life if I just flowed through instead of
Mhm.
trying to be so rigid. I can't. And I don't
Well, look
care.
into these shots because that's what they do. It's like you get the cupcake, you're gonna eat a half a cupcake, or if that, a quarter of a cupcake. But it's
Yeah.
satisfying. It's satisfying. You don't feel like you
Control.
missed out on anything, and you feel
Yeah.
so. And this is the thing, because of my relationship with food, I still feel it, and I hate that. And it's something that I've never gotten rid of. It's like a
Hmm.
guilt if I get too
Yeah.
full. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, I
Like
had one
painfully
falafel.
full.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
hurts, and I'm
Hmm.
guilty, but I'm like, I didn't eat anything.
Yeah.
Just the way
Well, at
my
least you
body.
can see that and your
Yeah,
brain can say, hey, I didn't eat that, pipe down, chill out.
yeah.
My thing is late at night. It's
Mm,
the when things calm down and all the stress, the cortisol, I'm sure that's not helping. All the
mm,
stress, all the go, go, go. We got to get this done. Oh my gosh, who here, blah, 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 blah. Get everybody in bed, baths, blah, blah, blah. And then I sit down and that's when it happens. I can't
mhm.
have baked goods in my house. I can't have chips in my house. I sure as hell can't have ice cream or cake in my house
Yeah, I
because
cannot
that's
have.
when I eat that is from
About
like 9 o'clock to about 11 o'clock at night when I have no business getting up out the bed. I'm making bagels.
popcorn.
So that's my problem. I need to deal with my stress a little better.
My friend was just telling me about bagels, said Trader Joe's has some good ones, so check
Oh,
it out.
don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that.
I had
Uh,
bagels and I had like one half one day and the other half the other day, and it was good.
I can't.
I
I
like it
can't
with
do
my
it.
capers, tomatoes, cucumbers,
Ooh, yes.
red onions.
Red onion, yes.
But I haven't even eaten today. I'm not hungry.
Mm,
So whenever I get hungry, I'll eat. And then
yeah.
obviously I make myself eat at some point, like a salad
Yeah.
or something, because that
You got to
happened before.
eat.
Because you got to listen. If you can't listen to your body, you got to force yourself to eat then because I got lightheaded one time and I was like,
Oh
oh shoot, I
no.
hadn't eaten. So I'm like, that's
Yeah.
dangerous. That's your blood sugar. That's other things that you don't want to mess
Hmm.
up. So trying to be healthy and not just, vain and say, I want to
Hmm.
lose weight for looks because it's more for health,
Yeah.
long-term health at this age, especially if I want kids. I
Yeah.
got to think about all that stuff. I don't need this extra weight on me.
See, I fluctuate between being so regimented in my schedule. Like I wake up and then from the point I wake up till I put the kids to sleep. I've got like every hour planned. This is my slot for meals. This is when I get
Mhm.
to eat breakfast. This is when I grab something for lunch. And it has nothing to do with whether I'm hungry or not. This is just when I'm going to eat that meal, because you have to have a breakfast meal, you have to have a lunch meal. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not
That's
necessarily how it is
smart.
either. But that's not how it is. Like, I'm not
That's how
listening to
it's
my
doing.
body. I know,
Yeah.
but I'm not listening to my body. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm not hungry, I'll still sit down and make myself eat a whole ass meal.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like, I'm not,
Versus
you know?
like a protein. I didn't even think like a boiled egg or something.
Yeah.
You
So
need to
it's
eat.
either that or I go through the whole day and I completely forget about it. And I have, like what you just said, lightheaded. I've had my
Hmm.
coffee, because I don't forget coffee. That's the first thing in
Yep.
the day.
Never
And then
forget.
I don't know if I've had enough water. I don't know if I've had enough any food. Like, I'll be like, oh shoot. So I always keep like a protein bar or something in my bag, or I have snacks for the kids in my, little packs of cookies or whatever.
Mhm.
So I always have something, but it's just like, oh shoot, it's 3 o'clock and I haven't eaten anything yet. So it's just and it's so weird that this is a whole entire podcast episode
Mhm.
about food and our relationship with food. Like, that's so weird
Why
that
is
there's
that
like
weird?
I feel like it's something so simple. It should be so simple, you know? Animals
Mhm.
wake up, they
Right?
graze, they eat a little something, they lay down, take a nap, they do. And this is a basic function you need to eat to survive. You don't
Mhm.
need to eat to excess. I don't know. I mean, that's when all the mental, emotional stuff comes, but it's so odd to me that's getting enough rest, getting food, uh, being part of a community or something. Like, all these things are the things that we have the hardest time doing. And it's like,
Yeah.
how did we get here? Like, it's normal. Like, animals literally can just do this. They do this, you know? I mean,
Yeah. Animals also stretch. We humans don't stretch. So
yes, I was
we
just thinking about that.
yeah, we have that animal instinct. I feel like we use it more when it comes to sexual type stuff, but
I don't even
we're
do that.
animals.
Yeah.
We're animals, and I think people forget that. We don't listen to our bodies. We don't listen to
Mm-mm.
the things
Mm-mm.
like you said, an animal. Like I was just thinking about that the other day because I volunteered at a cat shelter, and the
Yes.
cats are
Oh,
different sizes. They all get the same food. So
yeah.
some cats will have an empty bowl when you come. Some cats didn't touch it at all. Some cats ate some, and
Yeah.
it's just how they are, and they're all different
Yeah.
sizes, but they all have the
Wow.
same food.
Yeah. I saw a meme once that said a cat doesn't ask permission to stretch. It
Mm-mm.
just does. It just does it when it needs to. And that's just such an interesting thing. What would you do? You know what I mean? Like, what would it look like if we were just out on the street at a store and somebody was like, damn, and they've just, bend over, touch the toes and doing all this stuff. You'd look at them
I
like they
do.
were crazy, But I mean, yeah, if you just start busting into, because there have been times
Yeah.
where I just want to bust into some yoga. Ooh, I'm stretching now. This feels good.
Yeah, I love this
Oh,
top. Yes,
oh
top. I want
hey.
give me one. Them chevrons.
Ugh.
Slats. Oh, cute.
Anyways,
So this coffee is my breakfast and lunch.
that is not ordered, or like it's the opposite of, I don't know. That's not proper though, right? I mean, let's try to
I'm not hungry
get
at
our
all.
fruits and vegetables though. Can we try to do that? Let's get some fruits and vegetables in our diet.
I mean,
Get
I'm
the
vegan, so
vitamins. Well, you
I
ate
eat
the
a lot of
steak.
vegetables. I don't like fruit though. I don't really don't like fruit besides watermelon.
I know you
Give
don't
me my
like
watermelon.
apples. Yeah,
Ooh, I like it if somebody cut them up for me.
I know.
So,
But last time you were having issues with some apples.
yeah,
Whew.
I threw away two more apples, and they were like $5 for two apples. So I can't buy apples
Mm-mm,
anymore.
that's expensive. I don't know what kind of apples.
Yeah,
Well, I live in the Apple State. I live in
yeah,
Washington, so
exactly. We got to order
we
them.
got apples. Mm,
I mean,
that's
import them. I'm sure there are apples over here, but not as good. It was those sweet
Honey Crisp or the
Honey
honey.
Crisp. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I don't like those.
they were good, but I don't know how they taste because I threw away four so far. Any final
Oh,
thoughts?
no, I'm just about to go eat some hard-boiled eggs and a cheese Danish, because that's what I feel like fucking eating.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna finish this coffee.
Coffee. All right. Well, cheers, babe. Love you.
Cheers. Love you. Salud.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too.